Hello, welcome back to Billy Ho's Sports. What a great Kentucky Derby weekend it was. We weathered the rain. Today we're going to recap all things Kentucky Derby weekend. We'll do a little bit on the Kentucky Oaks. We'll touch on the Derby Day festivities. We're going to give a first look to the Preakness Stakes coming up, and we're going to see if I can't give away some things. So be subscribed to the channel for all the giveaways. That's free and easy to do. You never want to miss out on any of the content, so click that notification bell while you're at it. And leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite race or moment of the Derby weekend was for you. And then first of all, we are going to congratulate at Eric Lauderson, 2886, was the first one to post the correct Oaks Derby double of Good Cheer and Sovereignty. So he wins the 1998 gold instant winner pin from the Kentucky Derby Festival. And also there was one other one that got it right at Dan's Demand 565. So I am going to give you the 100th anniversary RC Cola bottle. So just email me at billyah35@yahoo.com. Just give me your shipping address and I'll claim your prize. So today we're going to give away the 100th Kentucky Derby glass. That was just picking the Derby winner, and all those who correctly picked it would go into a draw to spin the wheel. So pretty limited field there too. So you got a real good chance at that 100th glass. So we're going to spin that wheel in just a few. So hang out. First, we got to talk Derby to you, or we could say talk dirty because that works too, because that may have been the wettest Kentucky Derby I can remember. I know we've had snow flurries and all kinds of crazy stuff, but boy, did it rain all day, all night. The weather was just amazing. Pretty nice day for Friday of the Oaks right up until the end. And they sealed the track at just the right moment in time. But the Kentucky Oaks went to, obviously, the best horse in the 3-year-old division by a long shot, Good Cheer and Brad Cox. But to start off the race, I thought a very good horse from Chad Brown, Ballerina Dioro, the number 6 horse, broke very poorly, but the start was good for everybody else. Lucara went to the front, and Tenma challenging on the turn 1. Quiet Side, Good Cheer stayed back wide, which is to be expected, but they both had really good trips. Good Cheer was just sitting right in a few lengths behind Quiet Side, just kind of biding his time. And Louis was just tracking it all the way. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He got through the initial battle of getting through traffic. So going all the way around, rounding the far turn, they all go 5 wide. Good Cheer coming after Quiet Side, puts her away rather easily. Then Radar locks on the 2 tiring foes, Tenma and Lucara, which she easily put those to bed as well. And it was a no-doubter for me on that one with the Brad Cox filly. She is just something special. Shout out Drexel Hill. I forget, one of the commentators said these exact words: if I'm going to play a long shot underneath to fill out the exacta or trifecta, it's going to be Drexel Hill. And I was like, well, I've already made all my bet. I didn't, sometimes I act on that kind of stuff, but I didn't do it this time. Kind of wish I would have, because that was a big hit for second place. And then Bless the Broken filled out the trifecta. I don't even know what that paid. But I had a long shot show bet on the 12 Anna's Promise, and she just fell a little short. She ran a good race though. But getting over into the Kentucky Derby, slop fest of a day. The rain had box seats all day long at the track. That storm just stalled out. It doesn't happen very often. Usually those things blow through, but this one just hit a ceiling and just got stuck right over the top of us all day long. But I had a pretty solid day at picking through the slop and the soft turf and all that kind of stuff. I had a really good one in Pin Up Betty. I think the 5th race, 11-1, she hit the turn and looked like she was going to take it home, but then she fell back, came back and got second. So I got really good place and show money on her at 11-1. The Pat Day Mile, absolute head scratcher. I knew Macho Music had the speed. I knew he'd go to the front. But the way he just blew everybody out down the stretch, holding them off, it was just really, really, really amazing. So coming into the Derby, I could just tell by the way the track was running, I liked the speed of the front runners less and less and less. I said they're not going to get out there, and even if they set decent, honest fractions, it's just too hard to hold in this just wet, muddy slog fest. So anyway, I also felt pretty good about closing off the 17 Sandman, who was just way over bet, even though it did go tick back up from 9-2 to 5-1. I just didn't have any place for it other than it's a great horse, let's bet it. And all the other crap narratives that went along with it. I got too many other closers. I don't need this one, so I left them out. The Speeds, East Avenue, Neo Equos, and Citizen Bull. I didn't end up using East Avenue. I think I may have used them underneath in the exacta, but I completely tossed Neo and Citizen Bull. When the gates opened up, credit to a pretty good game plan by Bob Baffert. He just told Martin Garcia hard right out of the gate and don't damn who's ever in the way. So he just mowed right over the top of the 2 and the 3 out of the gate and took to the center of the track and got to the lead, which was mission accomplished, right? So a lot of bump and grind. Final Gambit got the worst of that break on the inside. Got squeezed out terribly, even though he was just waiting for everybody to go by so he could get to last place. So he was able to get in there okay. But turn 1 went to Citizen Bull, so always a little bump and grind, but most everybody avoided serious damage. I think Sovereignty clipped heels coming out of the gate. We'll find out more about that as we go along, but other than that, Junior took him over, eased like he was merging through traffic, and got over, checking the blind spot, and made it to the rail well before the finish line, before the first turn. So he was in great shape. Rispoli did a great job too, kept journalism mostly out of trouble. He made his way over, even though he did inadvertently body check Luxor Cafe into the rail, it seemed like. But let's all give a big shout out to Owen Almighty. Let's give a Owen, who shot out to the gate, went to the lead, and did not fade away. He was on the lead down the stretch initially before giving away, finishing a very respectable 5th. So shout out to their connections. They had to have been screaming. I mean, was that well worth the price of admission to put him in the race, to have him in the lead, hitting the stretch like that? I think so. Got their money's worth, didn't they? But anyway, honest 5th place, but the opening quarter goes just under 23 seconds, so it's like 22.80 and change. And then the top 5 were all the speed horses. You saw them out front: Citizen Bull, Owen Almighty, and Neo Equos, and even American Promise was settled in right in there off the gate pretty well. Half mile picked up the pace, 46 and 1/5, so it was really getting into the mix going around the far turn. That's when Citizen Bull began to give way, weaken. It's just too much for him to try to do, to be honest with you. But Neo Equos was going for it. Owen was going for it. But then, while all that was going on, obviously journalism and sovereignty were in perfect position as they were, I don't know, 5 or 6 wide hitting the stretch, but you could see the 2 on the outside was journalism and sovereignty, and I was like, one of those 2. I can't say for sure which one's which because I got confused going live, but I said those are the 2 that I'm gonna be watching the most down the stretch. So anyway, but backtracking just a little bit, Baeza and Final Gambit ran 3rd and 4th. So Final Gambit we spoke on with the bad break and settled all the way back to dead last. Baeza broke quite well. Flavian got him over, and then he was just kind of hanging in there, which he settled in mid-pack and in the middle. But I don't know if it was a mistake or he was just really hoping things would clear up. But as they were making that far turn, he started squeezing his way into an entirely huge pack of horses, and he got squeezed inside. He was literally, as they were finishing the final turn, getting ready to make that straightaway, he was elbowing the outer foe, who I believe was East Avenue, and that was Brian Hernandez, I think, riding, or no, Manny Franco, I apologize. He's elbowing Manny to tell him to scoot over, and then after he finally got into the turn, he was right there down the stretch. But yeah, trying to split horses inside, Pratt got hung up there. But respect to all of them. He did close very well. He kind of got over, weaved over into Final Gambit's way a little bit, but I don't think that affected anything out of the ending. So my 1A horses went 1-2. Can't ask for any more than that. I just thought Sovereignty was the better horse of the two. He raced against bigger fields, coming from the East Coast, which I have a little bias on, but I like Belmont. I like the way they set it up. I liked how he wasn't fully cranked in the Florida Derby. I liked how he had another good effort in him. I liked how Junior Alvarado was getting back on after the injury. Everything pointed to him and having a nice outside post position to stay out of trouble. Just came a well executed game plan. I'll give him that much credit. Junior, a lot of credit goes to Junior Alvarado, definitely. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel for that 100th Kentucky Derby glass. I had 4 correctly pick it. So shout out to the at coach 2101, Jeremy Wilhelm, Jeff Alexander, and John Connolly. You were the 4 that actually picked in a proper post, because you can't just sit there and put 3 horses in there and then just have 1 out of the 3 and get credit for the post. So you guys were ones that posted the actual winner. Whether you used the hashtag BHS or not, I wasn't holding you responsible for that. But we'll spin the wheel and then we'll tell about more prizes. Spin it. Okay, so at Coach O 2101 wins the 100th Kentucky Derby glass, but as a consolation prize, the other 3 participants, Jeremy, Jeff, and John, all get a Kentucky Derby glass. If you would like one, all you have to do is email me at the address I provided, BILLYAH35 @Yahoo. You'll see it on the ticker. Just give me your shipping address and I will send you free of charge your prize. So let's continue on. We're looking forward now to leg 2 of the Triple Crown, the Preakness. And we're going to have to definitely wait and see on how some of these contenders come out of a very, very grueling 1.25 miles. And I mean, I can't imagine what those horses went through on the post parade, just a steady rain, heavy at times and then calming down at times. But the track was just sop soaking wet and everybody was drenched. But I bet you they loved the weather as a fact that it was only like in the low 60s. So there was no sweaty, hot, nobody lathered up for the race. So I think maybe it did favor the conditioning of the horses very well. So anyway, looking forward to the Preakness, like I said. We're going to have to check on the contenders to see how they came away. Sovereignty, I believe I heard, had a minor scrape after the clipping of the heels, but they do that all the time. So, it's just like they stubbed, they got a little scratch on their leg or something like that. Now, we do know the horses that missed this race that are pointing toward it, which are almost the ones like Journalism we definitely want to see again. Obviously, Sovereignty really, if everything goes right with the horse health-wise, should go into Preakness to go for the Triple Crown, because they can win a mile and 3/16 just as easily as anything else. So the level of contenders like Journalism and even I don't know, Final Gambit, I'd probably give a pass. I'd probably wait for the Belmont on a Final Gambit type of horse. Sandman, I'd obviously wait. Baeza, I mean, if they wanted to, I mean, Baeza's just doing nothing but improving every race. So Baeza's ready to pop. I'd probably roll Baeza out the door. Grande is another one I thought was skipping. But I thought would be a good spot for the Belmont too, but I don't know, since they didn't get to make it to the Derby, he could absolutely be going at Pimlico. And then you have horses like the Hot Springs Stakes winner, Clever Again, very impressive in that race. Other ones like River Thames, who passed on the grueling 10 furlong Derby to target his probably best shot at a Triple Crown, second by a neck to the Fountain of Youth and eventual Kentucky Derby winner. Looks pretty good on your resume. Heart of Honor was the one lost a heartbreaker in the UAE Derby, looking like he might point this way. And then you had Gosker, the winner of the Grade 3 Lexington, who has a slot planned in for the Preakness, I imagine. And then you have other horses like Dwayne Lucas Caldera, and one that I'm really going to be geeked up about, and you'll probably hear me saying a little more about it, but its name's Pay Billy. You can't do any better. I mean, come on. You can't do any better to have a horse named Pay Billy if your name's Billy coming into a major race. He won the actual win in your end Federico Tessio Stakes at Laurel Park. So that's a prep for the Preakness. So he's definitely going to be a long shot. But I hope he does some damage because I'll be looking at him closely, and you'll get to know more about him and everybody else as we get closer. There'll be more shows to come. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Winners, contact me to claim your prizes. There is a statute of limitations on that, so get on the stick. So that's all for today. Do set those notification bells for more content coming. Leg 2 of the Triple Crown, like I said, tons of fun. Hopefully, we'll have a Triple Crown hopeful in the field, and stay engaged. And until the next time, see you soon.